I'm trying to demonstrate the downsides of this particular craft type, but I made Gary too good. Damn it! Hello everyone who likes every side so long as it is the right side of life. I am BorderWise, and welcome back to From the Depths. And more specifically, the Onyx Watch eerie bobbing in place, while the Bulwark does slow circles around it for some reason. And today I wanted to discuss my personal feelings and observations on two of the, well, one of the biggest rivalries in From the Depths, kind of, sort of, not really. It's Frontsiders versus Broadsiders, and oh boy, I believe people would have opinions on this. I certainly do. But, given that this is talking about broad categories in From the Depths, and I have too many hours in this game, it's helpful to have someone along who, knows absolute jack diddly about this game. Thank goodness. You already heard them giggle. Hello, Kelpie.
Hello! I love being introduced to, hey, here's an idiot who doesn't know how this game works.
That's me as well. That's most people on most days playing this game, my goodness. Alright, so, Kelpie is here. For those of you who don't know, who do not know Kelpie, firstly, hi, on behalf of Kelpie, and secondly, she's my girlfriend. She does not play From the Depths, thank goodness. She goes off and does more productive things with her life.
I played it a single 2 times.
Oh yeah.
The first time I placed about 2 bricks, and the second time I built most of a canoe.
Excellent. Well done.
Thank you. I'm so accomplished and From the Depths.
Yeah. More importantly, she has a PhD. This video is basically the short version to generalize tremendously. Frontsiders generally have the advantage of a Broadsiders. Like, I'm not the kind of content creator who will basically string you along for the whole video and like summarize only at the end. No, Frontsiders have generally an advantage. However, we can dig into this a little bit more, and just for the sake of simplicity, in this video we're going to be talking just about Frontsiders and Broadsiders. There's also Topsiders and Downsiders, which do what they think you do. So, very brief definitions. Frontsiders aim their front at the enemy, so the Eerie is an example of that. It has all its stuff pointing forward, enemies over there, it points forward like that. Broadsiders like the Bulwark here, and I've spawned these two, A, because I like both of them. Well, I like the Bulwark, I friggin' hate the Eerie, but I love to hate the Eerie. But I spawned both of them because one is a Broadsider, the other is a Frontsider, and they're both roughly the same cost. The Bulwark has most of its stuff pointing to the side, so it's broadside, so to speak. And Topsiders are pointing their top towards the enemy, so that's quite rare. That's like a submarine that swims underneath something and shoots straight up. And Downsiders is essentially like a bomber, flies over the top of something and poops stuff directly on top of it. Or maybe not directly on top of it, but that'll do the trick. But anyway, let's start with Broadsiders, the pros and cons. First pro, presenting a broad front to the enemy means piercing weapons do slightly less damage. So, I see Kelpie has a confused face on her. This is perfect. This is what I wanted. So, there are stuff in From the Depths that you see... Actually, hold on. You know what I should do? I should do this. So, here's a fancy trick. If you hit end, cutting above that...
Huh?
That didn't do what I wanted it to. There we go. So you can get a cross-section of the thing.
Fancy.
It's very fancy. It's lovely. I keep forgetting you can do this. It is a little bit glitchy, so you'll see at various points here. Let's actually scroll that a little bit to where there's actually a thick bit. So that's a pretty thick chunk of armor right there. So you see all these, how many layers is this? Just not even counting materials. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That is a citadel wall in there. Let's say 13 meters of armor. So From the Depths is unfortunately full of things that will go straight through that like it's not even there. So we're talking piercing particle cannons, like really big railguns and stuff like that. And there's no real way to practically armor against that unless you want your ship to be mostly armor in terms of its cost, which is bad, because that's less money for big scary guns that go kablooey. But Broadsiders have the advantage... I can turn this off, and I definitely should. There we go. Cutting off. And you can see in this cross-section here, all the vital stuff is not lined up with each other, at least when shooting from the side.
So you've got like a statistically lower chance of hitting everything in one go.
Exactly. So from the front, of course, it is still vulnerable. So Broadsiders need to get into their broadside like lickety-split, otherwise they just lose this advantage. But if you imagine, say, a super sick, gnarly railgun shell... Am I a surfer dude now? What the hell? Sick, gnarly? I'm also very tired, by the way. Kelpie's fed me coffee, and it's starting to have an effect. But, it's not working. Also, by the way, a mod I have for cram cannons to make them less laggy. It's very good. Go check out that video as well. But say there's a thing that goes like, and punches straight through all this and punches straight through this cram cannon and out the other side. Then, okay, that's okay, because it's just that one thing that got disabled.
Other things.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if you look at the Eerie, which, by the way, is a tanky thing, from the front, if it's lined up its whole length towards the enemy, it's like, alright, so thing goes here, there's a lot of, what's here? In particular for the Eerie, fun fact about the Eerie, if you destroy these jets in the front here, it loses pitch control, so it kind of keels back arse first into the ocean, which is quite hilarious when it happens. But a piercing thing, if it's really strong, will go through all this, and it can, it'll punch through this cram cannon, it'll deal with these cram cannons here, it'll pop this turret, it'll pop that cram cannon as well. It'll go right through all here. So lengthwise, all its important stuff is like in a line. So if you have a ridiculous piercing particle cannon or railgun, or, and this is the real new hotness, so to speak, a burst laser, which is just a laser that saves up all its juice to like, for one very short, powerful burst, it can and will go straight through at least half of this. And if it's just a little bit off center, you know what these are? These are the jets that keep this thing flying. So, if it's a nice strong pierce thing, it'll just take out all of this at once. And yeah, Frontsiders can have a really thick armor on the front, we'll get to that, but like, there's weapons that just go like, haha, no! And then, like, you know, the thing falls out of the sky. So there's an advantage to Broadsiders right there. And, on that same note, this basically means they have greater redundancy, because you could make the thing damn long and just spread systems all out. But the Baroque isn't actually a great example of that, because this is very compact, actually. You can see all this essential stuff really squeezed in there. Like, just rubbing up on itself. So, that's not the best... shut up. Okay. So, by that notice that more redundancy, you'll notice that the Bulwark, as our example broadside, has kind of guns on all sides and can point in all different directions.
It's like a frontsider and a broadsider, isn't it? Like,
well,
right now it's looking pretty frontside.
I mean, but yeah, this is the back, and look at all the stuff pointing backwards. It is got more firepower focused at the front, but in this particular case, it's because its broadside limit is... It's not, like, you know, it's not super, like, short range, but it's not exactly long range either, so it is going to be pointing its snoot towards the enemy a lot, so it does make sense to put more firepower at the front. But yeah, this is broadsiding, this is very, very broadsidey. And because it has like spare guns like all over it, like getting behind this thing isn't really much different from being in front of it or being to the side of it, because it's like, hello, here's a whole other cram cannon back here that will shoot you in the head. So broadsiders are generally, and this is, everything in this video is generalization, by the way, because this friggin' game is so complicated and so customizable that you can build something specifically to prove me wrong, and in fact go for it, that'll be funny. But yeah, so broadsiders are much more better at dealing with swarms of enemies, because you can have stuff pointing in all directions, like old school battleship style, going pew pew. And yeah, you can have just very wide firing arcs on everything, because like this front turret over here, for instance, can aim like all the way... Actually, I can do this. Like, let's go here. So you see that arc of fire is like greater than 180 degrees. This thing can fire almost over its shoulder. And this is easier to do with a broadsider. You can do that with a frontsider just fine, but like... Yeah.
Useful for lots of nippy little planes.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, the main, which is useful for anything that, like, tries to get up in your face and, like, dance around you. Broadsiders are somewhat better at dealing with that, The Erie, if you get behind it in comparison, it doesn't really have... These turrets do spin all the way around, but compared to like all the overall firepower, it's not much. Most of the stuff is on the front and stuck facing the front. It can't really shoot behind it nearly as well as it shoots straight forward. But yeah, and the other big advantage of Broadsiders is that Frontsiders, generally, because they have to like stay in one place and point at the thing, they need to be able to reverse and also change side strafe as well, usually. Broadsiders, on the other hand, they can just focus on having stuff propelling them forwards.
I feel like one rudder and some motors, you'd be fine, wouldn't you?
Yeah, so in that way, Broadsiders are simpler to make, for one thing, and also it means they, pound for pound, can be faster. The Bulwark is not the fastest example. Its top speed is 24 meters per second, which, by the way, is bloody fast.
Insanely fast.
It's bloody fast for a ship by real life standards, and like, but yeah, it's like, if you look at Lightning Hood's craft, which is basically evil scientist faction with lots of lasers, like, they have Broadsiders which are stupidly fast, because they're hydrofoils with massive jet engines on them, and they go, nyom. And that's where Broadsiders really shine, is like, if you want to go fast, and just, that's the main thing, go fast, Broadsiders lend themselves better to that, because they don't need to dance in all directions. It's just like, okay, stick all the stuff on the back, and pedal to the metal, go zoom. And if you use breadboard thrust vectoring, don't worry if you don't know what that is. It's stuff.
I do not know what it is at all.
Just, it involves not literal bread.
So it's not a bread and a PDF file.
What?
PDFs are Victor files?
Now you're talking about, like, what I don't know about. See? Alright, so yeah, there is that. Also, because they can focus all their thrust, like, just to go forward, so to speak, theoretically, they are cheaper than Frontsider. Not pound for pound cheaper, we'll get to that, but, like, total cost of a functional Broadsider is cheaper, all other things being equal, than a Frontsider, because Frontsiders need to... Well, in terms of propulsion, at least.
It makes sense, you're going to have like, little propulsors all over for a Frontsider, right, so it can keep pointed at you.
Yeah, like... Theoretically, at least. And, because they circle their target, they are, in general, again, generalization, recently promoted from kernelization, they are much better at flanking, which is something that I think is kind of underrated from the devs. Like, I've lost count in my recent campaign playthroughs how handy it is to just get a little dude behind the enemy dude and shoot them in the butt. Like... As the Frontsiders community is always so fixated on making the biggest, meanest thing to win a 1v1 fight that we forget that you send a little guy around the back to put like armor-piercing shells up the tushy of whatever you're fighting. That's actually very, very helpful. So yeah, especially fast Broadsiders. Again, the Bulwark's not the best example of this because it's not that fast by from the depth standards.
Only 24 meters per second, that's nothing.
Yeah, currently just 17 meters per second because it's turning. Unfortunately, we get to the cons, though. So, the cons of Broadsiders is that they don't concentrate firepower the same way Frontsiders do, because if we look here, we got a lot of stuff, 1, 2, 3 main cram turrets, 2 secondary APS, 2 tertiary cram turrets, and then just 1 more for giggles. That's a lot, right? I happen to know from personal experience that front-siding on, dead on, look how many guns that is.
That's pretty intimidating.
1, 2, 3, 4
That's all of
big,
its guns.
yeah, literally all of them. If it's pointing at you, it's got everything pointing at you. So 1, 2, 3, 4 big crank guns. These are huge. Like, to give you an idea of how big these things are, they're tall. There's a lot of stuff in them. It's like buried all the way in here. The rear of this thing is actually just mostly cram cannon, honestly. Very block heavy, very big chunky cram. And, yeah, so it's all concentrated on one spot, which is in front of it, which means that Broadsiders, although it's a trade-off, there's no one sweet spot where you can, like, it just, you know, you are safe from a Broadsider, so to speak. Like, Leaving aside the fact that, like, the example we're looking at is armed mostly with cram cannons, which if you make your tiny plane fly like it's drunk, it'll never hit you. Aside from that, but at the same time, there's no perfect position for the Broadsider either. Except, like, ideal position is Broadsiding, but with the Frontsider, if you're in front of it, it's aiming all its stuff at you. And that's what it wants. And sure, you can hide behind it, but, like, it's really good in front. And there is a reason why so much of the more dangerous craft in the campaigns, and Nitro specifically, are Frontsiders and not Broadsiders. The Erie, for example, you see this thing is around 809,000 materials in cost. The Bulwark is slightly more expensive. The Erie, partially because it flies, absolutely clobbers the Bulwark. The Erie is just a way more dangerous thing, partially because it's faster and will get up in your face a lot more easily, and just the whole raft of other advantages. But even if this thing was like a ship and was modified to be a ship, a front-siding version of the Bulwark would probably win 1v1. Just because it's like they concentrate all their stuff on the front. And Broadsiders can't use evasive strafing, so in order to show you what the hell that is, I need to spawn in a horrible, nasty, nasty thing. It's everyone's favorite thing. I think the Atos is actually a good example of that. Like I was mentioning, make your plane drive like it's drunk. Look what this guy does. He's gonna do it any second now. Yep. He's gonna roll to this guy.
That's mean.
That is very mean.
It's almost cheaty, but it's definitely within the rules. But it's like, oh wow.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty hard to counter.
Yeah, this thing. Oh yeah. Like this thing is crazy. It just rolls right over. Broadsiders can't really do this. Like you can potentially make a Broadsider like. You can make them bob up and down if they fly. You can make them yaw back and forth. Then you make them do a little wiggle. But they can't do acrobatics like this. And Frontsiders can just do that because if you're pointing straight at the enemy, you can strafe. So in this particular case, what the Atos does is that it doesn't have dedicating strafing thrusters, it rolls in order to move from side to side, which is very clever and very efficient. It is, however, outmatched right now. I think the Erie is going to just sneak behind it and then, like, blow its head off. But aside from that, this thing is cheaper than either one of these things, and it's actually putting up a hell of a fight. Okay. Also, if I freeze the game right here, if we look at the broadside of the Bulwark, you'll notice something about it's broad.
There's lots of guns, and they're all yes.
There's lots of area, so the silhouette, even if it's just above the water silhouette, that is a nice wide area. So, bearing in mind that the Frontsiders AI is kind of crap at aiming a little bit, and it tends to miss a lot, you kind of don't want a big target profile if you can possibly help it. A Frontsider, on the other hand, let's pause this to make the stop. There we go. So compare that to the rough size of the Erie's frontal silhouette. That is a lot smaller. It's more compact, which
unless
means
it gets flanked.
Unless it gets flanked, in which case it's got the same problem as the Bulwark. But this means that Frontsiders, when they're in their optimal position, are just naturally more evasive because they present a smaller profile. Like, tank nerds love talking about this kind of stuff. It's like, oh yeah, you want to be low down, you want a low profile, and just like, it's why modern tanks always like, you can't see this, people, but you'll see this. Like this.
He's turtling down.
I'm turtling down. I'm tucking my neck into my shoulders. And that way, like, armor-piercing shells will sail over my head, hopefully. So yeah, Frontsiders are just like, even before you add in all the other stuff, like, things miss them more. Like, they're more likely to miss.
When you're talking about how good Broadsiders were, I'm like, wow, Broadsiders sound great. Why would you ever do Frontsiders? And it's like, looking right onto that. It's like, yep, if I got a laser cannon to go right through you, but I feel very scared right now, and it doesn't seem like a very good thing to do.
Also, bear in mind, this thing shoots back. And this is not the nastiest Frontsider in the game, not by a long shot. It's nasty. The Erie is like, I'm fond of saying this thing is a hell of a wake-up call for people. And I love, and I'm so glad you're here in the video for this reason. This is a realization that a lot of players have in From the Depths. They think, Broadsiders, because that's the natural thing. This is boat game, or so it's nicknamed. It's actually a horrible thrustercraft game, really. it turns into that, but it's like, then they realize, oh...
like, yeah, I could get a perfect penetrating laser shot right through the middle of that, but it would have hit me a cajillion times with all its guns first, and my eye would probably miss anyway.
Well, in the case of a laser, you'll almost certainly hit this thing first, but bear in mind, you can stick those horrible piercing weapons on your Frontsider, and a lot of the later ones do. So there is that. This one just got... the Atos just decided to hit this thing, by the way. I just realized I didn't even have my headphones on. I have no idea what the game audio is doing. Tee-hee. Oh yeah, so... There's a downside to circling something, and I need to live demonstrate this because, well, it's funny. Where is it? Let's go...
Big map.
It's a big map. Nitra is big. Alright, so if I do... Let's do... What should we do? Let's spawn in a thing... here, about 1,000 meters away. This is my favorite thing. What is a fun thing? The exajoule.
How many joules is that?
Lots of joules. Extra joules. How many joules? Extra joules. And then I spawn in... No, I'm just going to spawn in the Atos again, but I'm going to turn its weapons off and switch it on Godly, just so you see this. So, there's a downside to broadsiding and circling the target, is that the From the Depths AI is bloody stupid. It is very bad at detecting where, oh, I don't know, land is. It's actually... I'm really hoping this does demonstrate it, otherwise I'm going to be very embarrassed. Which means that broadsiders, because they move such huge distances in a fight, they're far more likely to run into things. So, be it enemy vehicles, friendly vehicles, the land, I think, yep, we're heading straight forward. And it's worse if they're fast. The Exajoule is bloody fast. It's, well, it's 88 meters per second. It's not the fastest thing. That's fast, though. That's like, you can't run that fast. It's illegal. You'll get a speeding ticket, probably.
I cannot run that fast.
You can't?
No.
Oh, good thing you told me. I was wondering why we were walking it. Alright, so see right here, the this thing cannot detect land in time.
How is it still going? It's on land already.
It's in shallow water, and now it's on land. So this is one of my favorite nasty tricks to do against like really fast broadsiders that are dumb enough to not fly. Speaking as someone who makes fast broadsiders that do not fly. They're way more likely to do this. In all the times of... Its turret just fell off. I think it's despawning. Yep, it's too damaged. By the way, this is how you fight Lightning Hood's Hydrofalls. It's just you hide near an island and wait for them to commit harakiri on themselves. Broadsiders do this way more often than Frontsiders do. I've lost count at how many times my stupid little ships have made sweet, sugary love to the land in a campaign, and then you know, the post-nut clarity has killed them, so to speak.
This is the horny stream: penetration, broadside, rear side,
oh,
and now you're going down.
You
this
have
path.
no idea. Oh yeah, actually you do have an idea. So yeah, that's it's time to talk about Frontsiders and how awesome they are, and it's kind of gonna be reiterating what we just talked about, but more specifically. So, Frontsiders, the first and obvious thing we've already kind of touched on is you can concentrate everything on the front, so defense in particular. And
True.
so, the crown jewel of this, it's not the crown jewel, but I'm going to spawn it in anyway because, like, I hate this thing, is the pyre, infamously. So the pyre is not the scariest thing in Nitra anymore. That is something...
Oh, that's such a cool design.
It is! It's a flying fortress. So...
It looks like a pistol.
What?
It looks like a pistol. Pew pew pew.
Pistol facing backwards. This is the dangerous side.
Ah, okay.
This is the... I mean, that side does spawn nukes, so... So, if we go here, we'll see in here that straight through the middle of this thing, all of this is armor. More to the point, it is spaced armor, wedged armor, which is bloody difficult to get through. It takes ages to get through anything with this that is not like a stonking big plasma gun, which is specifically designed to counter things like this, or, you know, a big anti-tank kind of shell type of thing. So this is where Frontsiders really excel, is because you can put all this on the front, which is the bit where the thing is going to aim itself, and then it gets hit in the front, it does not care, and it kills the thing in front of it. Frontsider! And,
Pretty devastating.
yeah, and the firepower as well can also be angled forward, and for that, there's probably no better example than, well, I guess not the best example, but the Kobold is just a good example. This thing's named after a frickin' gnome, but it is like really scary. Also, just for giggles, I'm going to go into Grey Talon's fleet colors, because this is what they're supposed to look like. Please load. There we go. It's got eyes almost. So, most of this thing is gun. So, all of this, that is gun.
Is it like a railgun or something?
This isn't even a railgun, I don't think. Let's see here. What are you? This is not a railgun. This is just regular good old gunpowder. But it spits out armor-piercing shells, like, at over 400 rounds per minute. So when this thing goes, it's like... Daga, 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 with pretty decently chunky shells. So this thing... This is not, again, not the scariest Frontsider in the game, but it's still bloody scary and hard to deal with.
I think it's quite scary.
You are correct.
If that showed up outside my house, I would close the door and probably leave the country.
I wouldn't even bother closing the door. Those shells would go straight through it. But yeah, point is that if you wanted to armor Broadsider with this level of armament, you would probably need 2 very big turrets, and you'd need to evenly armor around the whole thing and stuff like that. Oh, and here is an example of something I completely forgot about. Shields. Shields in From the Depths generally are not very good unless you have specific plans. There's 2 kinds. There's the shield projector, which projects a magic shield kind of thing that shells
doing
can...
all those spacey movies, like the shields are down, Captain.
Pretty much, except much more fiddly, and in my opinion worse. And then there's ring shields, which are what these are. These things, in whatever direction the... I guess the square rhombus is orientated in, it improves the armor of blocks in that direction.
Oh, so it's like a buff.
Yeah, it is a buffer. It is a thing that buffs the armor in whatever direction it is aiming. The Kobold has a lot of these, and I believe if we just... I'm just going to turn everything off here. I'm going to spawn in something small and innocuous. I'm going to spawn in a rat. So, we see here is that now that there's an enemy, it's activated its shields, and it says plus 13.7 armor on the front. Its front was already very well armored, by the way. So, look over here. What is this? Hold on. Let's see here. Hello? Stop. I'm gonna break up my handy armor tool. What is this? Please go away. So the AC of this is about, let's see. It's not really showing it. It normally should. What the hell is the... Is this bugged? Is it bugged? I hope not. Huh. Oh, they're doing fancy things here. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So you see there it says armor class boosted from 40 to 53.7. That is the huge advantage of Frontsiders, is that you can concentrate shields on the front of them as well. Because on a Broadsider, it's a pain in the butt. You need to kind of duct tape shields in all directions, and it's a pain. It's a pain, and doesn't work incredibly well. It works okay, not great.
It's less money for guns.
Exactly. Like ring shields are more expensive in terms of their power cost. You can see how the power meter over there is flickering like crazy. But yeah, it is expensive to point shields in all directions when you're often only getting a shot out from one side. So huge advantage for Frontsiders there. And back to evasion, we've already kind of seen it with the ATOS, is that using hover movement allows defensive strafing, which makes them much, much harder for enemies to hit, and to show that off again slightly differently.
Even if it was a ship, it could sort of just go side to side a little bit.
Right, thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me. Thanks for reminding me. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes, I'm the From the Depths expert. Guess I'll play against you and I'll totally beat you in your campaign.
Well, what did you remind me of?
Front side of ships and strafing, because you can't do the 3D strafing that you're in the air.
True.
There's a sea.
But what did you specifically remind me of? Do you know?
I can't mind read.
Fair point. Alright, so it is entirely possible, and like, I don't have to show you this one specifically, but you can, yes, you can make a ship wiggle from side to side. This is Gary. Gary does exactly that.
Oh, he's very narrow.
Yeah, and this is keeping in with what I said earlier, is that Frontsiders can present a very narrow front towards the enemy. Gary is facing the Alcazar right now, and the Alcazar is, like, smaller and cheaper. But I hope everyone noted the clamshells that just kind of whiffed off to the side of Gary, because Gary moved sideways.
I feel like he might back into the land, though, if he's not too careful.
Yeah, thankfully he's not a broadsider, which means he's not that stupid. Also, he has rubber for protection on critical points. Don't laugh, this is deadly serious. So yeah, just like, even if it's a ship, they can kind of do a little wiggle. And then they can... That's enough! That, like, you can dodge entire volleys of crap if you do that right. Okay, and... Actually, yeah, Snowman Gary's in my notes. Yay, you reminded me of Gary early. Hooray!
I've destroyed the entire program. Oh no!
Not really. You've supported it. You've bolstered it. And again, Gary is actually showing this right now since we're so close to land. We're at risk of running onto land, but it's not that bad. If he was circling, he almost certainly would run onto land.
He's not going very zoomy.
He's not going very zoomy, which also means that if he gets stuck on land, there's a chance for him to unstick himself. Yeah, so like they maximize their movement potential. They kind of stay in place and they kind of wiggle enough to throw off enemy targeting, and they don't do a huge circle and drive straight into the Eiffel Tower, for instance.
And I assume staying to the straight is going to help their AI actually aim rather than being like, oh no, I've got to adjust for too many things right now.
Actually, that's a good point. It's like, Frontsiders, depending on how wiggly they are, you'll notice that little percentage thing that keeps going up and down, that's just stability, which affects the accuracy of anything that's aimed on it. A decent Frontsider doesn't have to move particularly fast in order to be evasive. It just needs to go like nyop, 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 as opposed to a Broadsider, which goes like woohoo! You can't see this, but I'm circling. So yeah, like potentially a Frontsider can even be more stable. Like that's a huge generalization. Like I'm not sure how much that stands up to scrutiny. And, yeah, we've already talked about a very small silhouette.
This was a statement from the person who does not play this game. Do not take it as sooty wisdom.
Yep, sooty wisdom. Swisdom. Right, so those are very strong advantages. However, there are cons, and, like, again, we can talk about, we've kind of already, like, talked about, like, the downsides of Frontsiders.
So you've sold them so well, I'm already, like, emotionally invested in them as a concept. It's like, no, they're the best in every single aspect. Don't take this away from me. I think they're cool.
That is a really good reminder that, like, man, people might argue in the comments about this. In fact, please do. It's engagement. Anyway, so the cons are, we've already kind of covered them. You'll look at Gary. Gary is not a bad Frontsider, not perfect, but you'll notice that the guns are on the front, and a lot of the propulsion is on the back. Gary is actually a weirdly glass cannon-y kind of Frontsider. Gary does not do well with being flanked by multiple things. Let's go find multiple things. I know what to find. Let's spawn in way too many flails. Let's spawn in 4 of them. The flails are fun. How many of these will Gary shoot down before they blow his head off? These guys are fun. These are essentially like Amazon delivery drones, but what they deliver is cram.
Sure, I guess like wiggling your way out of attacks is something that stops working when you have like attacks from perpendicular angles because there's multiple.
Yeah, and it's also a lot harder if they're in a direction that you don't naturally wiggle in. So they're already behind Gary to the point.
Poor guns flicking side to side, like, it's too much.
Yep. Although Gary's actually doing pretty well here. He's downed one of them, and that almost killed him. Gary is doing better than... Nope, never mind. Ouch. This is why you must armor your Gary as much as possible.
Rest in peace, dear Gary. You are very cool.
I mean, he's not dead yet. This is also why omnidirectional weapons like missiles are actually kind of helpful, because, like, yeah, they're behind them, but I have missiles. Haha. These guys are not doing a very good job of flanking. I'm disappointed, but... Oh, never mind. They just did that. So yeah, Frontsiders generally more vulnerable. Right, I'm going to artificially rig this now. I'm so sorry for betraying you, Gary, but like... Oh no, there's a thing behind him! Whatever is he gonna do? The thing is very quickly not being behind him because... I'm trying to demonstrate the downsides of this particular craft type, but I made Gary too good! Damn it! Oh dear. So yeah, like, okay, this is actually explaining, like, showing off a caveat to that whole downside thing. And that is, in practice, it's not that hard to have weapons cover every single side of a Frontsider. A lot of them do that. They have weapons that point, like, that can rotate so they point straight backwards.
Yeah, the whole Frontsider Broadsider thing seems to be a bit of a spectrum because you don't have things pointing just one way.
Exactly. And like
Where
Gary...
are you on the spectrum?
Where it's a spectrum. Much like sexuality and autism, frontsiding and broadsiding is a spectrum. See your doctor today to see where you are on the Frontsider Broadsider spectrum. That might be the stupidest thing I've ever said. Okay. Well, anyway, so the caveat here is like, well, yeah, you can also make Frontsiders so maneuverable that they're, like, in practice, really difficult to outflank. Gary's actually demonstrating that really well right now.
He's not even that fast. He just wiggles back and forth side to side, so you never get the flank.
Yep. He's decently fast, 40 meters per second in a straight line.
Well,
but
yeah, he's not zooming around like a broadside. He's just staying where he is, but going wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Yep. Gary's a wiggly boy. Very, very wiggly boy.
Could you make a front side that was like two parts with a hinge in the middle, so you can just like wiggle the back and front end relative to each other?
Ah, yeah, you can, and people have done that.
Is it good?
There's pros.
I guess if you hit it in the hinge, it's hard to armor a hinge, and so the whole thing falls apart.
I'm going to spawn in.
But then you have two boats.
I am going to spawn in exactly the thing you are describing, just for giggles, and shamelessly promote my custom campaign while we're at it. Stole my present.
I just think, okay, if you wanted annoying planes, I've seen lots of annoying, zippy, quick planes in your custom campaign. I can't remember what they're called. Really good placement there.
So you want to talk about hinges? This bastard is definitely that.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
It is cool. So yeah, this thing goes wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
I was
like
only thinking of one hinge. I was a fool.
You were not ambitious enough. Kovrax was ambitious enough. Gary's gonna die.
But on the other hand, if
If
the head, would it all go down? Or can it like survive independently if it has just the head unit destroyed?
I don't even know where the real main body of this craft is.
Oh, okay.
You want to talk about frontsiding, broadsiding spectrum? This thing is actually probably right in the middle. This is the Tiamat. And yeah, like, this thing goes wiggle, 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 and if one of those, because it's all on spin blocks, this goes like, that's how it can move like that. If one of those spin blocks gets destroyed, the thing falls in half. So there's definite downsides. Also, I think Gary might actually manage to do... Never mind, Gary's not going to do it. It's also going straight for the small guys, which are not a threat for it, which is hilarious. Where was I in my thing? Alright. Because they tend to aim their length towards the enemy, Frontsiders are... we've covered this. They're somewhat more vulnerable to very strong piercing weapons. And... let's demonstrate that. I do love the Tiamat, and I love how it's on screen right now. I am going to delete this.
No!
And I'm
Snaky boy.
Snaky
or snaky girl, or snaky thing.
Tiamat, snaky girl.
The gender is violence.
The gender is violence, yes. Let's spawn in a horrible piercing pack, which is the Gravitaris. Or as over...
It's a lot of cost.
It's expensive. It is very expensive. Or as we have nicknamed it in the Patreon Discord, the Gravy Train. Because Gravitas, Gravy Train. Thank you for laughing. Alright, so the Gravitas is a Frontsider, but it has a stonking big piercing particle cannon on it. And so if I spawn in the Hapless Eerie, for instance, we're going to show you what that particle cannon can do. Whoop! Gary! Get out of here! Run! He's vanished. I believe that particle cannon has just missed. No, it hasn't. So let's see if we can see... Yes. So this isn't even the... that actually was a bad shot. That particular huge particle cannon that this mecha bastard packs... packs, pun! Can go through a lot more armor and stuff than that. So yeah, the Eerie, let's see if it can actually manage that. Can it do another pack shot? That pack shot takes like 30 seconds to reload, so this could take a while. It's
still got a pretty narrow profile up front, it's hard to hit.
Yeah, it is hard to hit, but like a hit scan weapon like has an easier time hitting stuff like this than anything else. Also, it has grams of its own. That's what I wanted to see. Let's follow the holes, assuming there are any. Yep. Actually, I think that pack changes its damage type depending on the health of the enemy. That might have been an impact shot, because it's peeled this like a freaking potato right now. Damn it, I picked a bad example. But anyway, if you line all your stuff up in a nice convenient line, something that can like go straight through that line will hit all of it. So this is like, these kind of weapons are kind of rare, at least in the campaign, but they are there, and you better hope that you better not gamble your like entire strategy on just having that one really strong Frontsider, because if your plan can get ruined by just one line of damage going straight through all your vital bits, your plan's going to get ruined by things like the Gravitars. Gravy trains coming for you, and other things besides. What else? Yeah. Hover movement requires thrust in all directions. We've already covered that. So you'll notice that... Well, hold on. I don't need to pause again. Both of these things are burning through materials like crazy. Let's go look at it. What the hell just happened to the... Huh. Alright. What just happened here? What just... I'm confused. Huh. No way is the Eerie gonna win this. That's gonna be so upsetting. It's gonna be upsetting because it never managed that before, right when I really needed it to. But anyway, if you look at both of these hovering doom bastards, as I like to call them, both of them are burning through materials pretty quickly. A lot of the time they're doing that just to stay in the air and just to continuously hover in place. So, particularly Broadsiders, because if they're planes, they can just use their forward thrust to control their altitude, so that effectively makes them more material efficient with movement. Frontsiders, effective ones, need to kind of tap dance in all directions, so they need thrusters pointing every which way. There are ways around that. We've already seen the Greyhound's ATOS, that roly-poly little thing, that kind of pulls double duty with its up thrusters to roll to move from side to side, but still, that thing still burns through a lot of materials quite quickly, just because, like, it has to move, it has to roll around a lot.
That sounds tricky for newbies. Like, me, if I'm trying to imagine building a ship, I'd probably end up making a broadsider just because it's easier to do.
That is, yeah. These things are more complicated, especially when you get to the really dangerous ones, which are like, yeah. Also, the fact that like they are more complex, it's more when building them, more things can go wrong. Like looking at this thing, like look at this. It's got like hovering arms and crap like that. It's like ridinky dink.
Looks rad as heck though.
Oh yeah, Matt cooked on this one. If you don't know Matt Ginsberg did this. Matt Ginsberg is responsible for this madness. Snowman Gary is at Snowman Gary actually got hit really hard. Sorry, Gary, you're about to get hit even more. Let's give Snowman and Gary an advantage by repairing him completely. There you go, you can probably take on a completely crippled Gravitas, right? Okay then. Right, so, about flanking, and hopefully people haven't already, like, been smashing their keyboards saying, like, but Frontsiders can flank too. You're absolutely right. They can. The problem is that if you run around and try and flank something while pointing your nose at it, bear in mind campaign fights are kind of messy. There's a lot of vehicles that can just spawn in as the fight goes on. Wow, Gary just blew that thing's arm off. Hell yeah, Gary. I'm getting distracted by all the fun stuff that's happening on screen. Yeah, so if you are circling around something, keeping your nose towards it, you are presenting yourself buttocks first to whatever you're not pointing at. And if your craft is designed with keeping its nose pointing at the enemy specifically, you might intentionally, or accidentally rather, expose a weak point to the enemy, which is why I say that Frontsiders are not as good at flanking in the hurly-burly of actual combat, because they have a specific weak point, which can get exposed. They can expose their tushy to the enemy.
I bonk you all for horny.
Yep. Me specifically. So yeah, the Gravitas is a good example of that, because there's basically, it's just alloy back here. It's like 3 meters of alloy on the rear between the AI, its brain, and the big cruel outside world. So if this thing accidentally exposes its butt to the enemy, it's kind of curtains. So yeah, that's 40 minutes of me rambling. So what's the conclusions and personal opinions? It's basically like Frontsiders are generally have an advantage over Broadsiders. They have a lot, because every weakness I've talked about with Frontsiders, you can kind of compensate for with the design of them. With Broadsiders, not so much. You're kind of stuck with that if that's what you do. There's actually a good reason why all my Broadsiders tend to have, like, rubber for protection. Gary actually doesn't. Gary's not a good example. I'll spawn in the icicle. Actually, no, I won't. I guess I won't, then. I guess I'll click through my build menu and just find the icicle. Icicle? Wait, no. Crap! I clicked into the wrong folder! Help! Kelpie! Help! Spirit me away from this nightmare.
I don't know what you're clicking. I'm even more lost than you are.
Alright, so it's just for the love of everything, like, use rubber for protection. So that's rubber right there, that pattern stuff? Yeah, use rubber for protection on your Broadsiders, because they will drive straight into land and kill themselves, otherwise. But the best Frontsiders I tend to find are things like our flying tanks. Because they can concentrate so much armor and stuff on the front of it, they're the things that take the punishment and dish it out. And you've already seen the Eerie and the Pyre, but I'm going to ruin the lives of my own two ships here by spawning in what is probably the nastiest thing in Neater at the moment. It's the dreaded Laniakea. So you want to talk about concentrating like armor on the front? This thing literally holds vehicles on tractor beams that act as shields. So yeah, the Laniakea I think is going to actually like probably kill both the Icicle and Gary, no problem whatsoever. Although it is focusing on the Gravitas, which is dying, which is a hilarious thing to do. So yeah, the Laniakea, as of right now, in Neater, is probably the scariest Frontsider. You need to really pull your A-game, or just, like, outmass it in order to kill it. And, yeah, you can see that Gary's falling to pieces. These floating guns are their entire vehicle that is nothing but gun. They don't even have flying bits on it, because Mommy Ship takes care of that. Huh. Gary actually landed a missile.
It's nearly been flanked.
Nearly been flanked.
Not quite.
This kind of combo is actually very helpful. It's just you have a Broadsider up there taking punishment, and then you have a Frontsider flanking, except the Laniakea is driving over land. Also, I forgot something. I forgot to turn trees on. Don't you hate it when you forget to turn...
I didn't notice at the start there were no trees.
I think this landmass actually doesn't have any trees on it, even with the render distance mod, so that's embarrassing. Let's, Gary, how you doing, buddy? Not good. Not very good at all. So, best Frontsiders, big tanky things, jolly good, although I tend to find that like small cheap ones actually still work pretty well, because you have little annoying helicopters that are almost impossible to hit. But the best Broadsiders are, well, the Icicle's kind of demonstrating it. Admittedly, it is fighting something that it has no hope of beating. It's something fast, can aim in all directions, and can get behind stuff. It's not going to manage it right now, because... Oh, detected land, you absolute little genius. So yeah, it's... Their job is kind of to get behind stuff, and things like... I guess the faction examples... I'm going to spawn in some dudes on my team, just to show off what I'm talking about. The best examples, probably neater, are things like... Where is it? Where is it? I need to do this. Where is it? The Predator X, which is going to get vaporized by the Laniakea. Did I spawn that in on my team? Yes, I did. It's about to get annihilated by the Laniakea. That's a problem. So I guess I need to spawn in something else that is an example of a good Broadsider that is just fast as hell and gets behind things. I'm going to spawn in the Nope, not that. The Ennui. I think that's the Ennui. Nope. That was a Frontsider. Damn it. Go away. Wrong thing. What the hell was it? The Hysteria, that was it. This thing sucks.
As in sucks to go against?
Yes, because it just, like, peppers you with little armor-piercing rounds. I am making my game lag so much. And I think Gary is just kind of dying on the land right there. Yep. No, Gary, you scraped your protection off. I'm going to do this for your protection. Goodbye, Gary. Oh yeah, and the Armageddon Protocol, which is probably the nastiest... It's a team! It's a team of Broadsiders! or circle at a distance ers. The Armageddon Protocol is just 3 planes that spawn nukes.
Oh, alright. That sounds pretty annoying to deal with.
Yep. The landing Ikea is good, but is it this good? There's a nuke. So yeah, in case you're wondering how to deal with crap like this, is hey, try out flanking it a lot. Is Gary's corpse flying? I think it might be. But anyway, that does this long ramble about Broadsiders versus Frontsiders. Disclaimer, I'm not saying Broadsiders are bad. They're not. Frontsiders are just generally better if we're talking 1v1, mano y mano, womano y mano, any gender O versus gender O. What am I saying? But yeah, like, they're better at different things. You'll have a fun time in the campaign. This is one of the things I hate about Atlantic Chaos. These things are literally glitching in and out of each other. So annoying. So annoying. Oh, looks like the hysteria is the thing getting shot at. Hee hee. Oh, nuclear weapon. I wonder what's going to happen. Yep. Hooray! Take that, you big bully. Anyway, that does it for this video. Kelpie, thank you so much for sitting here indulging my incredibly nerdy, whatever the hell you even call this.
It was very interesting. It seems amazing for Frontsiders with Broadsiders to make a conscious decision about what you're doing and why, and work to the strengths rather than being like, I'm making a boat.
That is actually a very good summation of it. Thank goodness you were here, because I wouldn't have said that. So yeah. Pick your side. Front side, broadside, top side, downside. West side? East side? I've run out of jokes. I need to stop. Thank you all. Yeah, yep. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Support me on Patreon or YouTube membership if you like. It really helps, and there's fun perks in it for you. Like at the lowest tier, access to a Patreon exclusive Discord where we give funny nicknames to all godly craft, especially Lenny here. And at the highest tier, I'll even build stuff or draw stuff for you. It's a great time. I've built some cool stuff I wouldn't have otherwise built, and I've drawn some stuff that I definitely wouldn't have drawn before. And do check me out on Twitch and my other channels, especially the From the Depths VOD channel. That needs all the subscribers it can get. I will stop asking once I get to 500. That is a promise. Probably. Maybe I'm lying. I don't think I'm lying. But yeah. And check out my other channels as well. I think I already said that, but I forgot. I might need more coffee. Happy frontsiding and or broadsiding. And I'll see you next time in From the Depths. Farewell!
Bye-bye!
Alright, so we also need to record a stinger at the end of the episode. Do you have any ideas for a funny thing, like after the credits roll? I agree completely.